talked about it, Shio. 50 points, but Vidil gets a knock on Joe. So Vidil and O'Reilly are making their move right now as Tayson's going to the front side of the storm here just to make sure that they get as much placement as possible. We're getting closer and closer to the top 10 situation. Kinzel, Wake, and iDrop have the advantage here, but now we're taking a look at who has the advantage on the low ground. It's Andalex. We talk about the veteran trio you do not want to see controlling the low ground, but now we focus here back to third place. Shio, Ken Tayson right here, the ultimate solo star. Find the impact frags. I think he got that one. Maybe we'll see. But Tayson, yes, he does. And that was on the deal.
Wraps up the deal, one of the other top teams in 5th place rolling in. Tayson is trying to big that gap all the way from 3rd to 5th place and catch up the first. He's looking possibly for a high retake 2. Surveying the area. Meanwhile, Marine down in the feed. Wolfie's going away too. That entire squad is getting taken away. He's done the analysis. I feel like this team might be going for it in just a second. They have a little bit of those materials, but no. Kinzel, Wakey, and iDrop are way too high. We're going straight to the ocean as well. Low ground's going to be a little bit of trouble. They have to build a little bit more on the floors. Tayson is getting close and personal to that low ground as well. Holding all the way left and right. Shaco's going down in the feed. Snazy on low ground also gets taken out by Nate. This squad is active. They're looking for box-to-box fights, and they're winning them all. They need all these points right here. A 50-point gap going into it, like I said before. And if they get this, Tayson now is in trouble. 5 HP. He's going to have to move on out, but I think Tayson was able to survive that pressure here. Tayson, 4CR now getting pressure from height. Tayson down to a sliver of health here. 6 eliminations from Nate. The former FNCS champion goes down in a flash so quickly. Now it's 4CR here. He's in the back of the storm. 4CR holding on. 19 HP, and he goes down as well. This is going to be a victory royale for Wakey, Kinzel, and iDrop here, and Clement. Old names, old guard here on the line. Clement diving into the water here, holding on as much as possible, but iDrop, Wakey, and Kinzel, too much to handle, too hot to hold. 7 eliminations and the victory royale. That's big for them. They were 16th place. They could get up closer. We talked about all it takes, 2 games, 2 pop-off games, and you get a lot of movement on that board, Shio. That was definitely a catch-up game, though, for the majority of the server, right? A lot of those top teams going down early, even 4-0 not being able to go all the way to the end for the victory royale. I'm wondering how that shakeup looks. What does the catch-up look like? You have to toss it over to the desk to see exactly how that game's results throw down.
Boys, we're in the back just screaming our heads off, all right? We're just yelling as all of this is happening. Trios falling left and right. This is absolutely insane. Now, we'll take a look at the standings in just a little bit, but this was game number 5 on the day, 11 of the overall tournament finals here in Europe. Gentlemen, at this point, it's a battle between first and second. Everyone else is playing for third. And when we're looking at these like spots, we're talking about a large amount of prize money, okay? And all these trios, they're looking to climb as high as they can to walk away with more of that pie. Reese, Levin, this game is way too tight right now.
Look, you said it's a battle for first and second, but it almost was a battle for first and second. This was a full southwest zone. It looked like Queasy completely had it in them. This is basically the worst possible zone for Savage's team, pulling all the way from Steamy Stacks all the way to max distance map. We saw it not work out for them, but at the same time, it looked like it was going to be Queasy's zone. As soon as that 5th zone pops, they're situated on height. No way to build over. They can't do their signature height play, and it all falls apart on the rotate. So both of our top 2 teams eliminated early in this game, which means that we saw 4ZR. We were watching 4ZR, Tasting, and Nate through that entire end game. I think that was a third for them there with, I think, 7 eliminations, which is a ton of points, which means it was a battle for top 2. But I think with that game, those guys are going to move all the way up. And now it seems to be a 3-way battle for first coming into the final match.
Yeah. I wanted to come out and say, look, the top 2 teams made their lives a bit harder coming into that last game, but it's really unlucky, right? In the case of Savage Shield, you have the max distance zone. It's not even a max distance zone, the max distance zone for that team. And even in Queasy and Trulex's case, you know, they don't pull 50-50. That height difference, it just wasn't going to happen, right? They just weren't going to get height there. And so you saw they were posturing for it, right? You know what they want to do, but they just couldn't execute it. And so going into this last game now, it's a 3-horse race. And what a race is it? What a race. Like, this is going to be crazy. Ultimately, one of these 3 teams is going to be in the sort of closing moments of that game. And that's probably going to be the team that takes it. And so what happens now if there's all three of those teams in that situation? Like, then things just get...
We have a good game.
We're getting all different levels of crazy right now in the final game.
This is absolutely insane. We'll take a look at these standings in just a second. First, we got to talk about our top three going into that last game. This battle at the top. We got to highlight the three trios that are closest to the axe of champions.
Yes,
we literally just talked about these teams as already. You know, we set this up saying let's go the top three teams coming in. I think they're still the top three teams in contention right now. 4ZR, Tayson, and Nate had a good first day, but not anything amazing. They were fourth coming out of that first day. Now they're in third, so moved up a single point, maybe even pushed their way up the leaderboards a little bit more. But Rescard, Savage, and Drea, after the first day, they were in first. It was all looking really, really good up until that, what was that, game number 10, where they started to get overtaken then. And then here we go, 11 games deep. They've kind of moved down a little bit. The gap seems to be changing a little bit more. This is one of the best three-way races coming into the finals that we've seen in a long time. This is so tense.
Yeah, and you know, you look at Queasy and Trulex, both incredibly experienced players. Juriki, this is only his second time playing in an FNCS finals. You know, is the pressure going to get to him coming into that final game? You know, he tweeted out just before the last game, we need to focus now. And so is this going to be the opportunity for them to close things out and win their first ever FNCS championships collectively?
First
team to break 300 points, 308 points, sitting on top of that standings. Queasy, Trulex, and Juriki, they need to hold on going into this last game. Rescard and Drea and Mr. Savage, even though they didn't get the game they wanted, they're still sitting there in second, and you know, the gap is reachable between them and Queasy. And so now, even with Tayson, 4ZR, and Nate coming into this race, it is still a very difficult one to win.
Look, here's what I'm going to lay out for you. The worst game that Queasy, Trulex, and Juriki have had so far has been 10 points. So let's assume that's the same again. That puts them on 318, which means that Rescard, and Drea, and Savage, 4ZR, Tayson, and Nate will need to win the game, and Queasy, Trulex, and Juriki will need to have one of the worst or equally worst games they've had throughout today when they're extremely consistent already, which is very, very unlikely in order for them to win. Watching Queasy, Trulex, and Juriki's early and mid game is going to be so critical, because if they go down early, it's an absolute open field for any other two. Potentially, I'm going to go out on a limb here. Reason Vidil Noah Riley. If they win with a huge elimination game, which we've already seen them do, and the top three don't perform, which again is possible, they could potentially get in there too, but they could also get up into top three.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, right? We are all focusing on who's going to be the one to clinch first place coming into this last game. But of course, there are still stakes that need to be set in terms of looking at who can get top three. You want to auto qualify, right? So all those teams that, you know, I feel bad for Sancho and Shire in a way, because they're going to have to keep a track of everything and let us know what's going on, because there is going to be so much riding on this final end game. Like, I just want to sit back now and just enjoy the action.
Listen, I just checked, okay? Queasy has just tweeted, this decides it all. Good luck to all. Juriki, good luck, everyone. Good luck. They are aware. This is confidence coming into this game. Will they take it home? Will they be dethroned? We're about to find out, Fortnite fam. One final game in Europe. Sancho West. Shire Wager. Bring us home.
3 teams, 1 dream, and the best reason to do it in, it's Europe. The last game, Sancho West, is on the line, and we're going straight in with Savage, Rescard, and Andretta. Second place, about 20, almost 30 points behind. Can they do it? Can they catch up to first place and triumph in the final game of EU?
There's only 4 words that could capture this moment. Good luck and have fun. This is the final game of the FNCS EU region. Will we have a new FNCS champion, or will Hen, Genesis, and Chapix, I don't know, do the astronomical performance? But all eyes are on our top 3. Queasy, Rescard, and Tayson all have a chance to win. And it all went down to the final moments last season. Will we get a repeat finish?
They have been the most consistent all throughout the day. You can see the stat on screen. The thing is, though, it's not about consistency anymore. They're on the catch-up. They were playing defense a majority of this tournament. We're sitting very, very chill in that first place spot. Now at second, they need to actually be proactive this game. They can't just stay waiting on low ground. Maybe play for height. Depending on where the zone goes to, that'll be huge. You know what happens in the final games of the day on EU. We end up in the mountains. We end up in the sea. It gets Turkey. First place. So good throughout the whole day. Reset it best just to show you how dominant these guys are. Their worst game, Sancho, they get 10 points. You have to count on this team to have a good game no matter what. And every team right now in the lobby is preying on their downfall.
Essentially, their worst has been a lot of trios' best. They have a 24-point lead right now. If you want to keep tabs on it, you want to do the work with us, you want to do the math. Trulix's trio is at 155 for the session. That means for the day. You're looking at Indreda's trio still locked in at 118. Third place right now is 118 as well. So you're looking about 24 points difference between first and second. Third place right now is at doing math.
And in this final game, we pulled up an extra chair at the table. There are 3 teams neck and neck, close by. Look, spot the champions of Europe. It'll be 4ZR, Tayson, and Nate rolling in 273 points throughout both days. They're also very, very close, but have to do so much and hope that Queasy, Jerky, and Trulex trip over themselves trying to clinch this last game.
Let's take a look at the Zone 1 that's been revealed. If you're sitting out there and you're a Queasy fan, they're on the bottom left of your screen, and they have to go through all of those South rotator players that are all out there that have been just clawing. They've been bruising a lot of people, so that's going to be something to keep an eye on as they make that treacherous rotation. And Shayo, Savage, Resguard, and Dreda, this is really close. This is a very winnable situation considering Zone 1 pulled their way. Last zone went all the way across the map.
Yeah, I mean, it's close to them, but neither team really pull the zone into their domain. Everyone's gonna have to move a little bit, especially 4ZR all the way at Sweaty Stands. Even Steamy Stacks, you see that white line? They have to eventually end up leaving this POI. They're on a timer, and they have to make sure their game is efficient.
We cannot forget fourth place. The Deal, Noah, Riley, and Reason making a return back into the top 3. That's the only new team that are within the striking distance, within being that auto qualification as well. And that is what a phenomenal performance from them, no matter what. It let them know that they could change their play style if for some reason the placement points or elimination points changes. They know they could be aggressive, they could be that buzzsaw. But this is what's been so impressive throughout the day is Trulix, Queasy, and Jerky have been playing height aggressively. And who knows, imagine if day one they were able to get those victory royales when they had height, how much of a runaway performance this would be for Season 6.
Yeah, I have it down in my notes. This team was literally supposed to win on day 1. The positions they were in, you're absolutely correct. Like, they literally were dominant and no team could, in theory, really catch them. In reality, though, they definitely did get caught. Going back, though, watching the VODs, making sure everything, all the mistakes were fine. They came into day 2, the fresh mindset, and now they have a huge lead on many teams. All they have to do this game is survive.
We already talked about a lot of numbers, but let me throw you the big numbers that's happening here. But let me put a pause on that as our defending FNCS champions are in trouble. Lanouf's trio here has put so much pressure on them. Now that Janice is in a defensive stance here, Lanouf does get hit. It is cracked right now, and that might be just enough to kind of slow down this push that's happening from Slicks, Marine, and Lunef.
Gonna be trying to go all the way in. At the same time, every team right now, they might not be holding anything back. In the last game, you might need a lot of eliminations to go a little bit higher. And the prize thresholds.
Para isso, me dá instantinho que o negócio vai voltar.
They definitely would need the win. High Chris is here, still chasing them. They disengaged over and over again yesterday. And, you know, both teams have to play their games out. If this is the first time you're tuning in for the day watching, Hen's team, we're watching on screen right now, Under the Bridge, has been contesting High Chris's team for all 12 games. They're trying to run away, too, just to play this one out. High Chris does not care. They're coming through, chasing all the way. They're trying to have this fight towards the very end.
This is so heartbreaking to watch Hen, Chapik, and Janice. Chapik's tweeted out that he has never been contestant since squads. And we're just seeing them right now. The defending champions, not a lot of room to breathe. They essentially need a double-digit elim and a victory royale, and a lot of other teams ahead of them to go down, but I'm not seeing it. As much as I would love to root for a repeat the repeat is looking like it's in shambles.
Entire tournament hanging by a thread, no shields to kind of protect them either. They have to do this absolutely raw. Vortex jumping all the way in. Hen gets taken out. Chapix 1 HP. Both these teams, both these players have such a history throughout these entire finals. And although Janice, Chapix, and Hen have been winning off spawn entirely, it might just be Hycris who gets the last laugh. Janice on his wall. Champions fall. Their run so far for the top 3 is over. Phenomenal, though. Contested for 12 games. They had a very good showing and will end somewhere within the top 10 or 15 at the end of the finals.
It's just something that when it comes down to this moment, this is what it is all about. FNCS, we still have 3 teams that are just separated by a victory royale. Payson, 4ZR, and Nate. As a team, they're in 3rd place. Only 11 points behind. Again, 118. Keep an eye on that number. It needs to be added by 11 more points, and they're tied for 2nd place. Of course, that's all going to come down to tiebreakers and things of that sort, but this is why I'm casting and I'm not an admin. Right now, we're all eyes right here. Focus. Everyone gather around. We're getting into the final moments of game 12 here. And you may think, Sancho, this game just started. This feels like the finality of it. You know what I mean? This is it.
It is. It is. It's the last game. Jerky, Queasy, Trulex, 1st place. And with the champions from last season gone, it's like we're at the coronation for this team so far. If it was a movie, right, there could be a possibility of hijinks happening at the ceremony. People are still in contention, the top 2 teams, to interrupt. But once again, for these guys to lose their 1st place slot, they would have to go down before kind of the 8th or 9th zone spot. There's no teams near them. No bow shots really hitting this big Guardian outpost. There's no chance that these guys flip up right now. As the game goes on, it will get scarier. Here's the team that wants to make it happen. Savage, Andretta, Refsguard, once again, 2nd place. They need to catch up. They need to win this game.
I was mentioning big numbers before. Let me hit you with those numbers right now. 1st place, $300,000. 2nd place, $210,000. 3rd place, $135,000. That's what's at stake here between the 3. Not only that acts of champions, not only be able to put that social media post, not only to be able to make that video that's going to get thousands and thousands of views and your clout's going to go up because everyone's going to call you a champion. It's all about that life-changing money as well. And then you go down 4th and 5th, 6th, still thousands of dollars. That top 10 is going to be a threshold that you want to break, because if you break that top 10, Shayo, that's going to be $10,000 a piece.
You want to make sure you can catch up. The other thing on the line as well for every team behind the one on screen right now, Tayson, 4ZR, and Nate, basically everyone from 4th place below. This FNCS, you're automatically invited to the next one to be inside the finals as well. So Tayson, 4ZR, and Nate have their own gate to keep while they try to get further and further up inside the top 3. They have to make sure they don't go down, and they get an auto-crawl all the way.
Tu apanhaste tomate, tu apanhaste tomate enquanto eu ouvi. Vou petanho. Deixa eu apanhar aqui, eu prefiro apanhar aqui porque eu gosto mais de apanhar aqui. Aqui eu gosto mais.
Ô Mira, estou a gravar uma live, tá?
O quê?
Estou a gravar uma live.
Tu és youtuber? Vai rápido, Cross. Estou a ir, calma.
Mano, eu tenho que voltar logo para a faixa real, mano.
Deixa só uma coisa. Marcar onde é que é?
Vais conseguir, vai, mano.
Mano, os gajos estão a falar. Mano, agora é que eu vi que os gajos... os gajos estão a falar.
Oh my god.
Agora é que eu vi que eles estão a falar.
A sério? Oh, paraste antes.
Havia lá. Olha ali. Não. Onde é que há? Só no ecrã.
Vem cá, ali onde tem 2 pessoas.
Oh mãe, vou ver aqui no mapa. Já sei onde é que é. É ali, cinema. Já marquei. Eu vou continuar a ver. Mano, isso é uma série. Os gajos estão na forma. Tenta apanhar uma moto e vai. Os gajos estão na...
Eu já estou a ir para lá.
Isso, vai usando o grapple. What? Boa. Ellie! Ai!
E controle.
Yeah!
Onde vocês estão?
Sai! Eu tô no cinema. Eu tô no cinema.
Olha pra cima, amiga.
Oi! Olha tu!
Olha, eu vou pro melhor lugar.
Ah, já sei onde é que é.
Aqui na pedra.
They're pushing for it. Ardent inside this building, but no,
Eita.
Mason is moving with no protection all the way up the side of this ramp, and he gets beamed down, has to heal all the way up. 21 damage above. Outreach was worth it,
Oh, mano.
but they're still not off scot-free.
The monster that's underneath the bed of Tayson's dreams of a 3-time FNCS championship is now haunting them and giving them some nightmares because look, they're only 9 above. And throughout the entire tournament, we've seen Storm Surge being the bullseye, the target. And so many traders right now are looking for those easy eliminations to get them those thousands of dollars as they creep up more and more on the leaderboard. A lot to play for everybody else on the field.
They can't root Surge now. The entire run they've had this season, it's been Surge issues. Every single time. There's no way this game, the finale, will they just come up for now? Yeah, they go all the way up, build the bases, 86 damage above, it's looking good, and now with 69 players alive, Surge will stop still. They're not kings of their spot right now. Joe Stompy and Shadow can have better peaks right below them. Fast Roki and Ardent will look to cause trouble. Meanwhile, trapped beside a river in a shed, they finally broke free and are moving on their way to an empty zone where no one's really claimed that much ground. This could be huge. Get them into a spot to survive and not really have a team interrupt them. Wow, Jerry. Get Surge. Remember, they were barely up on it. Another one. This is so huge for Jerky. They don't have to make as many edits now. They'll be relaxing for the moment, too. The issue is they've bullied 2 teams on mountains and caught their attention. One of them being a team that might be looking at them stop their run. Savage and Dread Ref's card.
This is like one of those things right there. You're seeing that they're used to being really chill on Surge. They can make those kind of aggressive plays for height, but when you have that Surge parasite weighing you down, that anchor, you're not going to be as free to crank up to height. Those knives become a little bit heavier. In fact, Child, everything is heavier right now. Bet you their mouse or controller, whatever.
Sabe que eu tô a ver? Eu também tô a ver mais uma porcaria. Sabe o nome dele, por acaso?
Definitely a lot of pressure.
Não, mas encontrei do nada.
Decorated Tayson is, you know, the prowess of Nate and 4ZR too.
Pois encontrei.
Popping off, whether it's duos for Nate, whether it's
não, olha aí, é tipo quando eu vou no Fortnite, aí embaixo está lá a aparecer Suave a fazer uma live ao vivo.
They're the team that the majority of players in this lobby are looking to take out. I know first and second are having their own battle, but for third, they are on the line. Fast Roki beats the Ardent above them. Want to break in, and Alex in 8th place wants to roll through. Kiriachi right below them in 5th. They're trying to get through too. They had a chance to meet up with Vidil, No Riley, and Reason. They're right below them in 4th place. Meanwhile, in 2nd, Savage, Justguard, and Dreda. Looking at the point where that first place team is. Or just trying to get
they're looking good though. Center zone, and everybody that's in the top 3, everybody in the lobby has been pulled out 5 points. So that's why they went from 118 to 123. So those far, no one's getting the top 3, no one's gaining ground, no one's lost ground right now between Andretta's trio, 4ZR, and Queasy. All looking good. The only thing that I'm really concerned is this right here.
Quando eu vou em intervalo, ele não para de chatear e chama boi nomes.
160 into that HP bankroll. But is that going to be enough for them to last?
Tu és
Are
uma
they going to have enough
criança,
financial
né?
storm surge to be able to withstand all this pressure that's happening right here, right now?
Talk about pressure. This is a very similar position we saw. I believe a Nostalgia and Flick at last game. A team well, you can't really move between the 3rd, 4th, and 5th zones. You start running out of your materials completely. Fast Roki's not letting this one go there. Dropping down their ammo into this position. They ran out of shields above them. They ran out of gas, they ran out of mats completely, and it looks like they're looking to all in and 8-4ZR and Tayson below before this storm starts to move.
We're seeing that a knock went through for a reason. Now they're at 169 for this to close the gap just a little bit. They're still 17 points behind third place.
Vai ficar toda feia.
Look, and Thomas HD are also used to winning at least one game, I feel like, inside these finals.
Yeah, agora vou ver por a live do Flávio.
They could steal away the VR. They're still alive and looking really healthy. Meanwhile, Savage,
deixa eu ver,
wide
tá
open edit. Good job closing it after all that. I was expecting a no shot to come in. That would not be good for just the inventory management and loadout. Are still all the way up on their high ground position from Lazy Lake. They're looking to dominate this game. They did one yesterday, but once again, they're looking for repeat performances, trying to get up in the prizing thresholds. Oh no, force yard down. That's what I'm talking about. Fast Rookie did not want them to get away for free. Nate now stuck behind the wall. It's not his. He can't edit it. He's looking for the shot. And a lot of shots inside the circle as well. Nate, as a result, getting the Elam or not will fall privy to them too. They will have to leave them behind. Reason Vidil and O'Reilly's got their attention. The fourth place team right below them might be the ones to take him out. He might be actually affecting them and moving by. I think yes.
Os gajos devem estar bem chateados. Eu não gosto de entrar de três.
Fourth place now in shambles. Third place just has one teammate left over. Tyson is not going to go out without a big bang. He's looking for the big shots. Reason is going to be taken down on shield. 17 seconds. Still moving in. They're really desperate.
Atira.
But this is still not in zone. This is trouble.
Vai, agora jogadores coreanos. A trio champion and a solo champion is going to make his way to hold on as much as possible. A lot of ground to move on through to make sure they can get closer to the top here. But we're seeing they're still are two places here. Westguard's trio and Queen's trio are still in. Savage was able to get a couple eliminations. Weezer and O'Reilly, who are sitting in fourth place, have been moving up the board slowly but surely here. Now have to continue the rest of it. And Tayson is out, locked in third place. But we already know there's going to be a lot of movement because there's a lot more game here in the final 12 games, Shio.
Savage still acting like a frilled neck lizard right now, really puffing out his chest and looking for big positions all the way inside the circle. Every team right now is doing their best to be intimidating and make sure no other team steps to them or gets in their box. Meanwhile, Queasy, first place trio is not on that wavelength. They're more so operating like a jack in the box.
Olha esse limite.
Hiding from the rest of the lobby.
Eu fiz teste para eu um pouco do time. Ei, o que? É o limite. Corrida grande. Não, para trás não. Tu só disse quando já estás lá quase ao pé. Não vejo nada. Eu vou ficar em primeiro de... porque eu fico sempre em último. Então estavas a dizer que ficavas em primeiro. Não, Flávio, espera por mim. Flávio, espera por mim. Flávio, espera por mim. Não vais só para conta da China, mano. Queres ir ao parque, Diogo? Hã? Queres ir ao parque? Não sei se podemos agora. Então, se puder, continua. Vai dar a tua mãe, a ver se podes ir agora.
No O'Reilly up top, you know, but no O'Reilly. Reason of a deal are on height. They're so good at just punishing every low ground team. This could be trouble for Savage and Queasy as well. None of them looking to take height really. They're looking to survive. Same place, same boxes, and they both don't really pull zone completely. It's a pseudo max rotate. And they might be right beside each other.
Savage, the in-game leader for this situation right here. His prowess, his clutch factor is all on the line. He has to lead Resguard and Dreda. Savage joining this duo to form this new trio is performing out of their minds right now. Only 13 above Storm Surge, so that's going to be dangerous for them.
True like Squeezy and Jerky, they're actually box to box, side by side, it feels like, and right behind their tails, they actually end up on different...
Tu também.
And Lex on low ground, focusing on the bottom right now for Savage. Queasy is way ahead of zone. They're looking really good right now. Savage, meanwhile, is walking by, burning trees, a forest set ablaze, and working through builds that aren't even his own. This is not normal. He likes having his own lair. They found ultimate low ground, though. They're free. Green pass monsters, and they're moving forward. Meanwhile, Queasy is slightly elevated up top. It's a battle of who can survive. They put out some fire, but the rest of the builds catch. Savage's feet are hot. He goes all the way back, and it's time for a med kit. Meanwhile, Queasy going all the way a little bit for height, gets interrupted and dropped down below. Both teams trying to survive, both in so many different layers of pressure.
Queasy trying to go back to his playbook to go for height, but was denied by Flickanos and Thomas HT. All eyes are on the right side of the screen. Let's see what happens right here. Savage is in trouble. Savage is down to 7 HP without any shield here. This is going to be a moment right now for the turn is on their lives right now. Can Queasy, Jerky, and Trulix just hold on? But look at the push that's happening on the bottom right. Savage, the trio picks up elimination, and they have so much space control right now. They're pushing through the builds. They're getting the E limbs right now. But can Queasy, Trulix, and Jerky just hold on? That's all they have to do.
Queasy, Trulix, Jerky moving slower and lower in boxes. Find a big edit onto the Septos. They get a huge knock. This will be dangerous to try to finish, though. Every edit they look for could be on the front of a pump shotgun going straight to the face. Queasy backs up.
Oh, Mila, é mentira. Mila, é mentira.
Savage, though, off the mid kit. He's looking good all the way on the bottom right side of your screen. Lost Thomas Flick are still doing their thing on high ground. They're not over and ready to get things up completely. This FNCS has gone down.
A gente combina na quarta-feira à noite e irmos ao parque um bocadinho, tá bem? Depois combino com a tua mãe, ok? Então vá, um beijinho, adeus.
Mas vamos conseguir a escola.
Oh, mano, que isso, mano?
Mano, precisa ir dizer à tua mãe.
That's going to be more points on the board right here. It's unknown person second here on the low ground, and Savage takes out Trulix. This may be the opening that made it.
Mano, tá acontecendo coisas.
Queasy and Jerky are still on their feet,
Tem que
and
gritar.
Queasy's in trouble.
Mano,
Queasy's gonna be taken out.
Mano, já tinha morrido há 4 anos atrás.
6 eliminations, and the victory out in their sights. Could win it all right here, right now.
I don't see Trulix falling out just yet, so that first team might still be in the way. Jerky going down towards the storm. It looks like I don't see Savage alive either. It could be a matter of just moments to win points right there, but it seems as though Queasy, Trulix, and Jerky have done enough. The FNCS, it might be a matter of moments. This should be your champions. Meanwhile, Thomas they'll roll into the end game. You can never count them out when you talk about EU. Slated to win everything, to be on defensive body, but enough goes down.
Olha, eu sou burro disfarçado de blackout.
Thomas to clutch things out in the final game. 2 final teams left. Something like almost, yes, a 1v3. The impossible task is in front of Thomas HD. This is going to require everything he's done so far. All the experience. 130 drop down. Block the shot. Another flick. He drops down, block the shot, another flick on the right, but it's not going to be enough. Thomas gets taken down, and Joku are the ones to win the final game. That two-legged race, the two-man 3v3 that happened in the end game, Sancho, looks like Trulix came out on top.
Wow, what a great finish to our 12th game. Congratulations to Andon for getting that victory out with that trio there. You definitely build on that. But hey, the soda's gonna be popping right here, right now for Queasy, Trulix, and Jerky. Congratulations, you are this season's FNCS champion.
Absolutely. What a phenomenal run on both days. The first day looking like they should have won the way they were playing. They couldn't confirm anything. They had their card in the register, just couldn't pay the cash. This time, though, they're getting paid in hundreds and thousands of dollars, winning out the day. 3 VRs, the second game surviving all the way through. 333 points. I guess lucky number 3 is the way for this trio season for this squad, Sancho.
That was really cool. This is a newly formed trio. I mean, they kind of had middle of the pack performances in previous seasons, and for them to put it all together when it matters the most in day 2, making those adjustments. You said it right there. $300,000 being awarded, $100,000 life-changing money and respect from the FNCS community.
Absolutely. That's it, though, from Shio Wager and Sancho West on the casting desk. 2 days of game, Sancho. The craziest zone we've seen in the EU.
Eu vou clicar, eu vou fazer o vídeo.